What's good, everybody? It's your boy Will. Today's video I'm going to be showing you guys the best center badges in NBA 2K23. I'm going to break down every single badge for inside centers in the entire game, and I'm going to explain to you guys what they do, how they activate, and if they are worth the badge point investment of equipping them. I personally play 5v5 Pro-Am competitively against 2K League players and other guys trying to play the game professionally in different leagues. So I'm going to tell you guys what is the best to have on when you're playing against the best players in the world. Obviously, if we're playing Park or different game modes, other badges can be useful, but this video is mainly going to focus on what is essential for all inside centers. Before we get into it, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Go ahead and check out the channel. I guarantee you, if you watch some of my videos, it'll help you out whether you're a new center or whether you've been playing the game for a long time. Now let's get into the badges. We are going to start out with the finishing badges. First badge right here is Acrobat. Now this is a good badge for slashers, but for inside centers there's really no use for it. The only use I can see is chain shot layup attempts. That is when you're trying to dunk the ball. Maybe you are holding square and you get one of those layups where it changes out of a dunk, but that is a very rare occurrence in this game. So to me, this is not really worth the point investment because we aren't doing spin, hop step, euro step, cradle, reverse layups on a center build. Next badge is Dream Shake. I don't think it's really worth having on. The main reason for that is because I can still hit post hooks very consistently without doing any fakes at all. Now if you are a pure post scorer and you're playing Park or something like that, you could make use of this badge, but mainly for competitive Pro-Am and for 5v5 at the highest level, Dream Shake isn't really a badge that anyone is using, and it's not really worth having on. Next badge is Fearless Finisher. Now this is a very good badge to have on centers because it does activate on standing layups. It's going to reduce the amount of energy you lose, and it's going to help you finish through contact while you're under the basket. So you definitely want Fearless Finisher on as high as you can go, at least bronze or silver in my opinion. Limitless Takeoff. Honestly, this badge right here is really not worth equipping unless you have an 80 driving dunk and you have quick drops off one equipped. That's going to give you the glitchier animation where your guy glides to the basket and finishes the ball. My inside center has a lower driving dunk rating. He's 7'3", so this is never going to activate. Even if I put on all of the dunk animations that I have, never going to activate, so it's not worth having on. But again, if you have an 80 driving dunk, you have quick drops off one, you need it on silver for it to activate with all the great animations. Post Spin Technician. This is a very useful badge if you're somebody that likes to do post spins. If you have a high post control in your inside center, it is very, very good. You can definitely get separation. You can definitely throw your defender off of you, especially if you have it on Hall of Fame and your player has high strength. This is a very useful badge. Pro Touch. This is a very powerful badge if you're someone that does post hooks. It pretty much doubles the green window and makes them very easy to hit. It also gives you a boost if you have your layup timing on, you're timing layups. But to be honest, in this game, I don't really think layup timing is worth having on a center because a lot of the animations you get in the paint are very random and they're hard to time. Slithery is another very good badge to equip. I've noticed it activates when a defender is bumping into you and you try to lay it up over them. Slithery always pops up. It also says that it protects the ball from being stolen as you slide through traffic. It's only on bronze for me because that's all I get, but I would definitely recommend putting this on pretty much any build. Next up is Aerial Wizard. Now, if you're someone that catches a ton of lobs, I would highly recommend you putting this on. Personally, for myself though, it is on tier 2, so I really don't think it's worth the badge point investment because that is another important thing about it. We only get a certain amount of badge points. So for a tier 2 badge, this to me isn't worth having on, but again, if you catch a ton of lobs, you could definitely put it on. The second part of the badge says increases the ability to put back finish off an offensive rebound. Now, this isn't when you just get a board and you go back up. This is if you try to do a putback dunk off a rebound. So I don't really do those. Next up is Back Down Punisher. Now, if you're a post scorer, I would highly recommend putting this on. Basically, when you're backing somebody down, this is just going to increase your strength and make it easier to move them. If you're someone that's posting up a lot, trying to get a bucket, I would highly recommend you putting this on. Drop Stepper is another great inside center badge. If you're someone that does drop steps, trying to get into the paint, trying to get a bucket, I would highly recommend you to put this on as high as possible, especially if you have post control. Even on bronze, this can be very effective. Moving into the tier 3 badges, Bully on inside centers, in my opinion, is really not worth equipping. mainly because it activates on driving layups. And if I'm on a 7'3" center or a 7-foot center, I'm not really even trying to lay the ball up to begin with. For the badge point investment of a tier 3 badge, this is not worth equipping on an inside center at all, because there are better options like fast twitch, masher, and rise up. Now fast twitch, I would say that this is probably the best finishing badge out of all of these. Every single tier you go up is going to give you another 5% increase to the speed in which you take layups and dunks, which is essential on an inside center because there's going to be people trying to swing into the paint and get a block on you, and you want to be able to go up as fast as possible. Next up is masher. This is another great badge if you have a very tall center. Basically the way this works is it activates if there's a defender 3 to 4 inches shorter than you guarding you. This will also activate if pretty much anybody shorter than you is even near you, so they don't even have to be guarding you directly. If they're standing next to you, masher will pop up. It's going to give you a boost on your close shots, so your standing layups are going to get a huge boost. I've noticed that pretty much when there's somebody smaller on me and I have masher on, I can just go up and it's going to go in. My guy's 7'3", so if you have a shorter center, masher might not really be worth it. And if that's the case, I would definitely put on rise up. This is another great badge. Increases the chance of you getting a standing dunk, and it also increases the chance of you getting a posterizer in the paint off a standing dunk. So obviously on a center, we want to dunk the ball as much as possible, and rise up is going to boost our chances to do so. This is definitely another great badge to equip. Now onto the shooting badges. Obviously this video is for inside centers. The first one is slippery off ball. Now when you're setting screens, this is going to help you slip to the paint and get through defenders. It's really not essential to equip, so I wouldn't necessarily focus on it too much, but it can help. And another one you could equip, if you were to core slippery off ball or something like that, you could put on clutch shooter because this will pop up for free throws. Moving along to the playmaking badges, the first one is clamp breaker. Clamp breaker is a very good badge for centers because when you're driving to the paint, you're going to be able to push off of your defender. So if you get a rebound and you want to try to mash, you can really just run into the guy guarding you and try to go up, and clamp breaker more often than not will activate and will help you doing that. Next up is floor general. If you have this equipped on bronze, it's going to give a +1 to every one of your team's offensive abilities, so all of their attributes. If you have it on silver, it's a +2, gold's +3, and Hall of Fame is +4. So if you have extra badge points like I do, I would highly recommend putting this on just to help out your teammates a little bit. Mismatch expert, I would only recommend this if you have a very short center, which pretty much nobody does in this game. It only activates when you're going against somebody a lot taller than you. My guy's 7'3", so there's really no use for it. Special delivery. Now this increases the chance of you throwing a lob and it completing successfully. I do throw some lobs to my point guard and my shooting guard, so I definitely want this on because I do have a lot of extra badge points in playmaking. It also boosts the shot chance for receivers when you throw a flashy pass, but I'm not really throwing flashies unless I'm trolling. Bailout is another really good badge to have on centers because it helps you throw out of double teams. So if you're in the paint, you just got a rebound, and there's 2 guys down there, it's going to be easier for you to throw a pass out to your guards. Additionally, if you're going up with a bad take and you try to pass out of it, this is going to help you a lot. It makes a big difference, honestly. Next up is break starter. Now you definitely want break starter as high as you can go, whether you get a Hall of Fame or gold, whatever, put it as high as you can. If you don't have break starter and you throw the ball all the way down court, it's going to be terrible. It's going to be really hard for them to catch the pass, and it's going to be really hard for them to score off that pass. If you're someone that is only playing park and you don't really throw down court, you could go without it, but for anyone playing 5v5, this is essential. Next up is vice grip. I would highly recommend this as well. It's going to make it harder to rip you after you get a rebound, and it's going to make it harder to rip you after you catch a pass. So when you set a screen, you slip to the paint, vice grip is going to pop up every single time you catch that pass. You definitely want this as high as you can get it. Now most centers aren't really going to get into the tier 3 of playmaking badges unless you have 86 pass accuracy, but if you're someone that does have that, dimer is not a bad choice. It's going to give whoever catches your passes a boost to their shot. Personally though, I would rather have needle threader. This is going to give a boost when you throw your passes through a tight window. So basically when there's a defender near whoever you're throwing the ball to, it's going to be harder for them to steal it. I've also noticed that if you have needle threader on silver or gold this year, you can actually stun defenders when you throw a pass, so they literally cannot reach at all. So I would probably have needle threader on over any of these badges at the bottom tier. Next up is post playmaker. This is like dimer, but it's after you get an offensive rebound. So when you get the board and you pass out, it's going to give a boost to the guy that catches it and shoots it. And then last but not least is unpluckable. Even if you had unpluckable on Hall of Fame, you're going to get ripped on a center because you're not going to have a high ball control. So really not worth having on at all. Finally, onto the defensive badges. First up, we have challenger. You should definitely put this on. It's going to give a boost to your contest percentage on perimeter shooters. So whether you put your hands up or you jump, it's going to give you a better contest. Definitely worth having on. glove really isn't too good on center builds unless you have a high steal. So if you're someone that's a little bit shorter, like a 6'10 center or a 6'9 center, you have a higher steal, definitely put glove on. But for someone like me where my guy only has a 60 steal rating and he's 7'3", glove really isn't worth the point investment because I want to have on all these other badges. If you have the extra points and you have a high steal, definitely put glove on. Interceptor, you absolutely need this on any build in my opinion, but for centers, especially if you have a low steal, you definitely want it on at least bronze. If you don't have this equipped, your guy is going to reach at the ground and not really go for many lane steals when you want him to. Off-ball pest. Now, in my opinion, you really don't need off-ball pest at all in this game. It's going to help you hold defenders down and stop them from running freely through your guy. But I tested this out and I really don't think it's that important and you really don't need it because the off-ball movement on this game really isn't that overpowered by any means. Next up, we have Pick Dodger. The only use this has is if you're guarding pick and roll and the center accidentally screens you, or if they're setting a screen in the paint trying to be annoying. It can help a little bit, but those are really rare occurrences. So for that reason, I would not recommend having Pick Dodger on at all. Workhorse, I would highly recommend having Workhorse on pretty much any build, especially centers though. It's going to make it so when there's a loose ball, your guy gets a huge speed boost to it. It's also going to make it so when there's tipped rebounds, your guy has a better chance of catching it and securing the ball. Box out beast is very important for any center build, also power forwards, pretty much any big man. This works for both your worms and your box outs. So if someone has you boxed out, you're gonna have a better chance of worming them and getting around them. And it's also gonna decrease the chance of them being able to do that to you. I would say put this on Hall of Fame no matter what if you're playing center. Chase down artist. Now chase downs did get a major nerf on this game compared to 2K22. The only reason why I don't have it on is because my guy is 7'3" and I'm mainly guarding the corner on defense. For someone that's guarding pick and roll, you definitely want to put this on. I would probably say at least silver or gold. For me, it is a tier 2 badge, so I have to put 3 badge points into it, and I really don't think it's worth the investment because I am in the corner. Post lockdown is a great badge if you're going against somebody that likes to do post moves. So whether that's drop steps, post spins, post hooks, it's going to help you get contests, and it's also going to help you rip them when they're trying to do these moves if you reach. If you're not going to get somebody post scoring, there's really no point in putting it on. Now into the tier 3, Anchor is definitely one of the best defensive badges in the game. It is Intimidator and it's also Rim Protector in one badge. So not only is it going to help your just hands up contest in the paint when they're going for layups and dunks, it's also going to help you get more blocks and better animations when you go for blocks. If you can get this on Hall of Fame and you have a 99 block, you definitely want it on Hall of Fame. If not, just put it as high as you possibly can. Brick wall is very important for setting screens, but it also helps your ability to stop players from backing you down in the post. So if you're going against a post scorer and he's trying to bully you, brick wall is going to give your guy more strength to stop that. For setting screens, I would definitely recommend at least having brick wall on silver. Silver and gold, there really isn't that much of a difference, but there is a big difference to Hall of Fame. So if you can get this on Hall of Fame, put it on Hall of Fame. If not, silver or gold is definitely good enough. Pogo Stick is one of the best defensive badges as well, especially for taller players like my guy. He's a 7'3". When I jump up in the air, he is not recovering well because he's too big. If you're on a shorter center like a 7 foot or a 6'11", you can get away with not having Pogo at all. But for taller centers, you absolutely need this. If I jump for a block, my guy is not getting back off the ground without this. And this badge really helps you get a lot of rebounds too, because when you contest somebody, you're able to jump up for the board. And the final badge is Rebound Chaser. You definitely want this on at least gold. If you can get a Hall of Fame, put it on a Hall of Fame because it gives way better animations going for rebounds. You're going to get higher jumps and better animations where your guy will one-hand the rebound and pull it down and secure it. Real quick, I'm going to show you guys all the animations that I have equipped to my center. Most of the dribble moves really don't matter too much because I have a low ball control, but some of these things are very important, so make sure you copy all of these down. For free throw, I would recommend either Michael Jordan or Steph Curry. Layup style, I think default big is the best one for centers. I think Pro 2 is the best post fade if you do them. Post hook, definitely Joel Embiid is the best one for sure. Really the only dribble move that makes a difference is this moving spin basic. It's going to allow you to spin back really quick. Triple threat style, you definitely want Michael Jordan's on. That's where you can do the one hand ball fake above your head. And for pass style, make sure you guys have none on if you're a center. Every other pass style gives you very weird pass animations out of of the paint after you get a rebound, so keep on none. Now for the dunks that I use, you don't want any 2-foot moving dunks. Make sure you have all of these unequipped because they're very slow. You only want 1-foot moving dunks. I have a low driving dunk on my guy, so all I have equipped is rim grazer off of 1. If you guys have a higher driving dunk, you definitely want quick drops off 1 that's in an 80. And if you have a 78 driving dunk, you want to put on front clutches because that's really hard to block as well. For the standing dunks, I have both of the regular ones. I have both of the rim poles, and I don't have the athletic ones equipped because I don't unlock them. But if you do unlock them, you can put on the 1-hand under basket athletic. I really wouldn't recommend the 2-hand because it does a lot of cockback dunks which are easy to block. And then obviously you want to equip the standing contacts if you have them. And then for the signature dunks, you could put on something like Shaquille O'Neal or Ben Simmons to get better standing dunk animations as well. So there you have it. That is every single best badge for inside centers in NBA 2K23. I really hope this video helped you out. Make sure again you like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate you so much for watching. Hope you have a great day. It's been your boy Will. Peace.